Hello and welcome to the Elite Transformations podcast. Today we are going to be going over many quick fire-ish questions that we've been asked by our viewers.
Question 1. What is the best way to lose fat and actually keep it off?
I've been thinking about this and I've reduced it down to two things. The best way to lose body fat, but mainly to keep it off, the top two things is going to be reduce ultra-processed foods, because the more studies show reducing or removing ultra-processed foods from a diet lead to a lower body weight. That's number one. And number two, increase your NEAT, your non-exercise activity thermogenesis. Both of those things are going to be a huge way, particularly to stabilize a new lower body weight. But even if you just do those two things, studies show that the likelihood to reducing body weight is there. So that's what I would reduce it down to, those two things.
Can I enjoy weekends and still make progress?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Ever heard of 80-20? You can absolutely enjoy your weekends and still make progress. This is something that we do with all of our clients, and the enjoyment factor is really key. If you don't enjoy what you're doing, it probably won't last very long. That's the key to sustainability. To enjoy your meals, your social time, your interaction is key. So yeah, absolutely. It's just about toning it down potentially, or not going quite so wild, still being conscious of, I have a goal, this is where I want to get to, and knowing that certain actions, behaviors, how much you consume and how much you do or don't move has an impact on your results. So it's finding the balance in that, but yeah, sprinkling some fun in there is key.
How can I eat out and stay on track?
This is something that we do with our clients often as well. We find out where they're going. Where are you going?
Yeah.
We find out where they go. They tell us where they're going on the weekend, and we're always planning ahead.
Consensually, they tell us where we're going.
We plan ahead. Okay, cool. I'm going to this restaurant on the weekend. We'll find the recipe, or we'll find the menu, and then we'll highlight the options which would best suit them.
Yeah.
So therefore, and that really helps because they can go out for dinner. The pressure is off for panic ordering. Like, fucking hell, what do I order? It's like, oh, I don't know. I'll just have that, and think, well, no. They go there with a plan. It's like, they don't even need to look at the menu because we've looked at it already. So, I think the question was, can I still eat out and still make results?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can 100% eat out and still make results.
Stay on track.
Planning ahead is key.
Definitely.
Here's something which can be very helpful. The way in which we approach the meal, first of all, is trying to reduce or trying to pick a slightly lower calorie amount in a meal, then going for a high protein amount in that meal, and then going for high fibre, lots of vegetables in there. That's a
helpful.
Top insight.
What should I eat to feel more energized during the day?
The basics. Some carbohydrates, some proteins, some fats, some water. It's nothing glamorous at all, but finding foods which are convenient and enjoyable and that contain the macronutrients and water to stay hydrated is key, and actually implementing those at different steps along the day. Someone who might be tired might have just not eaten all morning.
What about the afternoon crash, where people say, oh, I've got the afternoon crash and then I need a Yorkie?
Afternoon crash. That's a common misconception that's blamed on carbohydrates.
Yeah.
That you get a sugar low, that you consume loads of sugar, carbohydrate, same thing-ish. Sugar goes up and then it goes up above baseline and then crashes below baseline. And it's when you go below baseline that's when you feel tired.
Lethargic.
And then you want to eat more sugar, your body craves it, to get back up above this homeostatic line. That's not correct. When you consume loads of energy, a large meal, that then makes you sleepy. Think a Sunday lunch, Christmas dinner, I'll have a nap after.
So basically the afternoon slump that's blamed on carbs is an overconsumption of calories.
Not necessarily an overconsumption, just a high amount of energy going in.
Okay.
To avoid the afternoon slump, it might be a good idea to have a smaller meal or your lunch, but split into two.
Yeah, okay.
With a few hours apart. Same calorie amount, same food. You've just separated it a little bit to avoid a giant energy intake and then tiredness after.
Do I need to track my calories forever?
No. Tracking your calories for some people is a very good thing to do. For other people, it's a really not good idea. Depends what the relationship with food is like for them and how that person is emotionally attached to their self-worth and calories and the numbers around that. That's a very deep therapy session to go into, really. That's a lotty conversation. But do you have to track your calories forever? Absolutely not. For a lot of people, it's quite good to re-establish, like kind of retrack for 1 week or maybe even just 3 days every few months, because we all tend to, once you've tracked your calories, you can sort of eyeball things, which is a helpful tool to have. But over time, we sort of become misguided by it. We exaggerate slightly. So just kind of re-establishing that, your judgment of it is a helpful thing to do.
What are some quick healthy meals I can make when I'm short on time?
Super, super quick. Smoked salmon bagel. Boiled eggs or scrambled eggs on a bagel thin, for example, or bagel or toast. Those would be super quick, low effort tray bakes. Because you can spend 10 minutes chopping things up, lob it in the oven, and then you're done.
Leave it, yeah.
So we do often sweet potato, chickpeas, and then and onions. Cool. Sweet potato, bang, 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 bang. Onion in fours, chickpeas, pour over the top, bang it in the oven, half hour-ish. The smaller you chop things, the quicker it cooks. And bang some kale on at the end. And that in itself, great nutritious meal. You could throw some prawns in there too, some sort of protein source. But I think that really the key, if you're cooking something, just cook a big batch of it, because then you can box it, meal prep it for the next day.
Yeah, or even I would think as well, like just cook even one more portion, because some people are like, I don't like eating the same thing, which I also understand. But maybe just do, so even if you started with one extra portion a day, or like a meal, so you had just one extra, like a lunch for tomorrow, for example.
Yeah, and by cooking just one extra portion, you keep doing that. You can just build a bank in the freezer.
And then you don't have to eat the same meal.
Yeah, we always have these takeaway tins, which you just pop it in, like it's like you get from the Chinese or the Indian, and you just stack them in the freezer, and you just take it out, and it's well simple and convenient. Like it's well handy.
Yeah, we have a collection of soup blocks,
Super bricks.
bricks.
Perfectly stackable, and that's very easy. Yeah, we take soup out of the freezer, and you chuck a packet of prawns in, soup and prawns, dead easy. You can get bread roll if you want to, like super easy.
Do I have to do cardio to lose fat?
No, not necessarily. So many of our answers are it depends. It depends on the amount of calories that a person is consuming and the amount of calories a person is expending. But do I have to do cardio to lose fat? It will speed it up, because doing cardio is energy expensive. So if you're doing an hour of cardio a few times per week, you might burn a few more thousand calories per week. You don't have to. Losing weight is all about maths. For a lot of our clients, they don't want to know the maths or the numbers or anything, but that's our job to understand the maths. And then you have this predictive expectation of
Formula.
rates of fat loss, of weight loss. So we calculate the mathematics of it, and that's the plan. It works, it's science. Some people will throw cardio in, some people we won't, but you don't have to. If you like doing cardio, then it's a great way to expend a few more calories.
Girl question.
Right.
Will lifting weights make me bulky?
No. In order to get bulky, for anybody, you have to consistently consume a larger amount of calories than you require. So excessive.
Surplus.
A surplus. You have to be hammering protein intake, and you're not going to do that by accident. You're also going to be having to lift very heavy weights consistently over a very long period of time. It takes ages. And then if you pair that with being a female, when the key hormone to building muscle is testosterone, which females have about 10 times less than a male, is not going to. It just doesn't happen like that. If you get a testosterone-filled male and you do all of those things, you fill him with food, loads of food, you pack loads of protein in there, you get them to train super hard consistently, and then if you leave them for about a year, they will grow some muscle. Do that with a female and and reduce testosterone by 10 times, it just doesn't work like that. So no, lifting weights is not going to make you bulky, and it's definitely not going to happen by accident either. If lifting weights made you bulky, lots more men would be massive.
What's the best training split for fat loss and muscle tone?
One, something that you enjoy, something that involves resistance. But going down those two lines, I would probably do 3 gym sessions per week, full body training sessions. So lots of upper body, lots of lower body, lots of core work, lots of glutes, and then throw in something to get you hot and sweaty 2 to 3 times per week as well, paired with an active lifestyle.
Mm-hmm. Should I train fasted in the morning? Does that burn fat more?
Okay, key thing to note is the body uses carbohydrates and fats for fuel. Training fasted means there's no food in our system to burn. So we're going to have to rely on our own fat stores or carbohydrate stores to rely on that energy. There's nothing in the bloodstream. We have to release it from our body into the bloodstream. If you've not eaten, it's empty. So acutely, yes, you'll be digging into your fat stores in that 1 hour.
Yeah.
But that doesn't necessarily lead to weight loss or fat loss over, let's say, zoom out a week, because if you use 500 calories worth of fat for fuel in that training session, but you overconsume by 1500 calories that day, you're going to, yes, have lost body fat in that session, but you would have gained more over the day. So don't worry about that. Think about energy balance on a whole week or whole month, a larger scale.
What's the deal with carbs? Should I be cutting them out?
Lots of different dietary approaches can work for reducing body weight and body fat. Some people find it very easy to cut out carbs. Some people find it impossible to cut out carbs. Carbohydrates contain calories, much like proteins and fats. In order to reduce body weight and body fat, we want to bring calories down. So bringing calories down from anywhere is helpful, really. So if you can sustainably cut out carbs, good, go for it. Training performance will decrease, so keep that in mind. But there are lots of different ways which we can go about this. You don't have to cut out carbs if you don't want to.
How do I eat support for weight loss without tracking every calorie?
How do I eat for weight loss without tracking
every
calorie? Increase protein intake. Protein intake, when it's increased, increases satiation. We're fuller for longer. Therefore, you're less likely to consume more foods later down the line. Same thing with fiber. If we increase fiber, that again is going to increase satiety. And it's bulk. It takes longer to digest. So our stomachs are fuller for longer, which leads to greater satiety. Staying hydrated helps as well. That's another cue. When we're dehydrated, we can often mistake that feeling for hunger. Try having a drink instead. And also, studies show that eating processed foods, a diet full of processed foods, leads to greater weight gain. So if you can just reduce, not totally exclude, because they're often very delicious, if we can reduce processed foods, chances are that will lead to a lower body weight.
I'm not sore after a workout. Does that mean it didn't work?
This is a big one. If you do something brand new in the gym or an exercise, you will likely ache.
DOMS,
delayed onset muscle soreness. Yeah. Sore muscles after. And you can do 5 reps and that's it of something new and you might ache. Does that mean it was super effective? No, not necessarily. If you do something where you stretch the muscle and load it up, that will also likely lead to DOMS, sore muscle the next day. As we train and become experienced, you'll get used to this. Your tolerance will go up. You won't ache so much. That doesn't mean that the workout wasn't effective. So no, I understand it's nice to feel a bit achy after a workout, but just because you weren't achy doesn't mean it was negligible.
What are the most common gym mistakes that hold people back?
Lifting the weights too quickly, pumping through with no control or no technique. We want to pick an exercise and we want to feel the muscles working. We don't want to just do an exercise, do 10 reps and get it done. The point is to feel the muscle working, load it with tension, and that's where we create stimulus in order to get an adaptation and therefore a result. So that's what I would say. Number two would be actually be not working hard enough. People don't work hard enough in the gym often. Your body's very capable of doing a lot of things. Like you want to be pushing every set to 90% effort. You want to leave one rep in the tank, but you want to be pushing hard. You should be sweating by the end of the workout.